Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. And today's ongoing coverage of the conflict taking place between Ukraine and the Russian Federation, the rhetoric and the ongoing, very tense diplomatic situation continues, to include the use of a hard military power in the eastern Donbass region. We've learned today that at least one Ukrainian soldier was killed in action today by the separatist forces located in the eastern Ukraine. But again, I want to have a look at the force buildup that was taking place, give you, the viewer, an idea of just how large this buildup was indeed taking place. And we'll first look at the forces that are deployed very close inherently to the Ukrainian border. So first and foremost, we'll start from the north and then kind of work our way south. You have this army here, which is just to the northeast of Kharkiv, and that is the 20th Combined Arms Army. It consists of two full mechanized divisions, an artillery brigade, and obviously an Iskander missile brigade located there. You have to also look at the force makeup of some of these divisions that are attached to the 20th Army. So, for instance, this division that is deployed here, the 3rd Mechanized Division, this is a fairly normal-sized division by Russian and former Soviet standards. You have two mechanized regiments or motorized rifle regiments and one tank regiment. Now, if you look in other areas, these are not always the same. So if we go up north, where this division is located, still within the 20th Combined Arms Army, you have the 144th Mechanized Division. Now, this has an additional tank regiment. So in this case, you have one tank regiment and 3 mechanized regiments, and obviously a self-propelled artillery regiment, 1 anti-tank battalion, and a reconnaissance battalion made up in the 144th Mechanized Division, part of the 20th Combined Arms Army. And again, that is operating within the vicinity, very close to the border with Ukraine. Next, you have this unit here. It is the 8th Combined Arms Army. And within the 8th Combined Arms Army are also the separatist forces are also attached. And the composition of this is 1 mechanized division, 1 mechanized brigade, and then 1 Iskander missile brigade. Now, this division, the 150th Mechanized Division, is a little bit even more different, as it has 3 mechanized regiments and 2 tank regiments. So again, a very large division that in all probability would immediately move west into the separatist portion of the Ukraine and support these separatist forces. And you can see a multitude of brigades and battalions, and all these units are under the direct command of the actual Russian Federation, and most of the conscripts and volunteers that make up this force come from eastern Ukraine. And again, obviously, this is the 8th Combined Arms Army. You have other assets as well, in all likelihood, assisting, such as this unit here, the 22nd Special Forces Brigade, and a multitude of other Special Forces units as well. The next unit that has been actually moved into the Crimea, and we're seeing elements of two other army groups, not the entire army groups themselves being moved close to the border, but certain elements, maybe brigades, battalion tactical groups, and support assets specifically being moved to the Crimea for a possible operation from Crimea up into the eastern portion of the Ukraine. And again, that would be this army group here, which is in the Southern Military District, the 49th Army, Combined Arms Army. And we understand that quite significant elements of this army group has also been deployed to the border of Ukraine and in the southern, the Crimea region itself, and that's the 58th Army. So again, very significant forces when you look at the amount that is being moved into the region. And again, in the Crimea itself, you have this unit, which is the 22nd Army Corps. My understanding, this is actually would be a coastal defense and naval coastal defense asset that comes under the command of the Black Sea Fleet. And then obviously you also have the Russian airborne forces, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But obviously they have been deployed as well, and also are some of these units are very close to the actual Ukrainian border. Another unit that has been deployed that usually operates very close to Moscow, just to the west of Moscow. This is the very renowned 1st Guards Tank Army, reportedly one of the more elite formations in the Russian military. It contains one mechanized division, and that is the 2nd Mechanized Division, and then the famous 4th Tank Division as well. We understand the 4th Tank Division, which is located here, with the traditional 2 tank regiments and 1 motorized rifle regiment, has in fact been moved from its normal basing area just to the southwest of Moscow, and has been moved very close to both the Belarusian and Ukrainian borders over in this area. It's quite possibly that the 4th Tank Division may have been assigned, at least temporarily, to augment the 20th Combined Arms Army. And one of the most unique movements of forces that we have seen so far is, and I've talked about this in previous videos, is this unit right here. Again, the 41st Combined Arms Army, and we are under the impression that fairly significant elements of the 41st Combined Arms Army, to include the very large 90th Tank Division. Now, has the entire 90th Tank Division been moved to the border? We don't know. However, with that being said, this unit contains 3 tank regiments and 1 mechanized regiment. So it has an additional, whereas you see near Moscow, the 4th Tank Division has 2 tank regiments. This has 3 tank regiments. So in all likelihood, at least 1 regiment has been pushed forward to the border with the Ukraine. Then obviously we have the Spetsnaz forces that are associated with the GRU, Russian military intelligence, and they are under the command, obviously, of the Russian General Staff. And then you have those forces are designated in green, and there are a multitude of these forces that operate throughout Russia that could be flexed towards the border of Russia, of the border of Ukraine and Belarus. And then you have the airborne divisions and brigades. So Russia has 4 airborne divisions, air assault divisions. These also have a significant mechanized capability, meaning they can fight as mechanized infantry units as well. They are just not light infantry, and some of them even have assigned tank companies and battalions associated with and assigned to the actual airborne divisions. In this case, the 76th Air Assault Division has a separate tank battalion assigned to it. And again, three air assault airborne regiments in this division as well. The other issue that is going on that is a little bit different in this buildup, that was different in other buildups, is we are seeing a fairly significant movement of the Russian National Guard. Now, the Russian National Guard is not of the same equivalent as the United States National Guard. The United States National Guard is more of a reserve component that falls under the actual state governor's command, but can be obviously federalized and moved over to active duty, as they were quite a bit during the second Gulf War and the occupation of Iraq. But again, the Russian National Guard is a full-time active force, largely made up of the former Ministry of the Interior troops. The interior troops were an internal security apparatus that had a fairly significant combat capability as well. They had motorized infantry regiments, they had helicopter support, artillery, and what have you, minus heavy tank units. But again, these National Guard units have been deployed to the border of the Ukraine. In all likelihood, they would be utilized in rear area security operations, quite possibly in the occupations of large cities, as the main mechanized columns continue to advance deeper into the Ukraine. You would need those National Guard elements of the Russian military to come in and police and conduct rear area security operations against any kind of guerrilla or partisan activity, and continue to maintain a law and order after the main forces continue forward. They would also be used to maintain obviously the large amounts of prisoners of war that would occur in this conflict. But that is one big thing. What we're seeing right now is the movement of these National Guard forces very close to the border of the Ukraine as well. So again, really hard to get a good picture on just how many forces are being deployed. Again, it's very significant, and a wide spectrum of forces from the Russian Federation, again being deployed. Compounding that with the amount of rhetoric that is coming out of the Russian news media and Russian media is again much more significant than we saw back in April. So again, we're going to continue to keep our eye on the situation and obviously report as we get information. It continues to be very, very tense. It's not being reported widely in mainstream media news outlets, meaning there's not ongoing coverage of this. But if and when this conflict were to go hot, obviously it would become very much the headlines of the day, and you would see some really uneducated media sources quite possibly demanding U.S. troop deployments to the Ukraine, and that's simply, as I talked about earlier, it's just something the United States is not prepared to do, to fight the Russian Federation in the eastern Ukraine. It's just, we're not built for that right now, and it would take a significant transition for us to prepare and get ready to fight the Russian Federation inside of the Ukraine. That's all we have for now, and we'll continue to monitor the situation. Have a great weekend, everybody.